Raven fans, Oriole fans, thank you for joining us today on the Ravery Sports Podcast. For fans like me, like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So thank you for joining us right now. If you're joining us on our YouTube page, our Twitter page, our Twitch channel, we want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your Sunday, even though we had this awful result today, to join us. So thank you very much for joining us here on the Ravens and Raiders instant reaction video to this game that we just had. Like and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. All right. So I know this is a Ravens stream, but we do Orioles real quick on the Orioles before we start on the Ravens foolishness. We got Oriole foolishness. Tigers 4-2 over the Baltimore Orioles today easy for me to say, in Detroit, Comerica Park down there in Detroit. So Orioles not good again today. They had no offense. This is offense has been averaging less than 3 runs a game since the last White Sox series. It's been abysmal, terrible. Adley again is 19th home run today. That's basically all they got late. So the Orioles really down the stretch are really scuffling with the bats, not really getting much done. So Orioles really struggling today. We'll talk more about that on the podcast as well. Football. Bad news with the Ravens. 26-23. Ravens lose 26-23. Raiders are victorious downtown. Ravens home opener today. I'm sure a lot of you are upset. I am too. It's terrible. First time since 2015, the Ravens have been 0-2 to start the season. The last year, that was probably the worst season, just looking at it, that Coach John Harbaugh ever had as a coach. They were 5-11. I think that was the season I think Joe Flacco was injured and missed the back chunk of that season. So the 2015 was the first time the Ravens actually had an 0-2 record with this. Let's go over a couple of things, a couple of reasons why it would happen. Might be entering a new reality with Justin Tucker. Long field goals are missing with more frequency. I had somebody ask me, are they worried? They said they were kind of worried about Tucker. I think that's maybe strong, but it's not in a way. You're worried about Tucker in the sense of, I think we might be past at the age he is, the superhuman stuff. We may not see as much of that. Like a 56-yard field goal, so what? 58, whatever. I think we might be moving past that. He's still very solid on the shorter stuff, like under 50 yards, etc. No problem. The announcers even mentioned it. Hey, well, yeah. So I think worried, I think, is too strong of a word, because are we going to have a good kicker? Absolutely. But the superhuman 55, 60, like all that stuff, it didn't matter. Justin Tucker, we didn't matter where it was. So Tucker now has missed 50-yarders. It's like 1 of 7, his last 50-yarders. That's a real thing now. It's not a thing where it's just fluky. So a little bit not concerned, but, and look, he could still be the best kicker in the league, not to what we've been seeing. But they needed Tucker to bail him out today. He missed the field goal, lost by 3. Not his fault, but that's a fact there, that he lost by 3. Kyle Van Noy, I thought he was Spartacus even on the field. He's breaking with a broken orbital bone. That's the bone in the back of your eye. I don't know which one. I'm pointing to one in my eye. But imagine playing football at the back of your eye. I thought Odafe was fantastic today. I thought he was good last week. I thought we would see more of Ajabo as well. But I thought Odafe was terrific. He had 3 sacks. He's getting home more and more this game. I thought in the last game, I thought he was good, even though he didn't get sacks. I thought like under most quarterbacks, he would have got sacks. Today, he got them. I thought, but the fact that Van Noy stepped on the field at all was Spartacus-like. I cannot believe that Kyle Van Noy is actually playing with this injury. Didn't have much good to say about the Chiefs defense as well, and about the Chiefs training staff. I understand that, but hey, look, he was out there. Good for him. They needed him today in effort. Defense overall, I don't think was terrible. This might surprise some of you guys. I thought Henry looked much better today. I don't think the Ravens are still sure what to do with Derrick Henry. They still look like they're kind of finding their footing with him. I thought You saw it, though, what he can do when healthy. They had a lead. They kind of ran the ball down late. They had him in space. We finally were waiting for that. He had that huge stiff arm out the open field where he tossed somebody. So Derrick Henry, he definitely didn't, to me, look like the Derrick Henry we're all used to seeing so many years in Tennessee, but I thought this was much closer to it. They still look like they don't know what to do with him, though. They still look like they're still trying to figure it out. I think they're thinking too much about it. Run him on the left side, right? I don't know what else to tell you. Like they're running a lot of zone, which they're struggling to get. They're moving them east-west. They're trying to get them flat. Run RPO or run them straight up down them, and stop thinking about it. Run them on the left side where you got protection. I mean, you're thinking too much about it. Then as the game goes, you kind of ease them into that thing. So I think they're like thinking too much about it. It looks like they're trying to fit him in to what he's a unique type of talent. I'm not sure if that's a great idea, but there's no question he was much better today. So Derrick Henry was much better today. He had his first 100-yard game as a Raven, so he was much better in this one. So shout out to him for that. They still, to me, look kind of lost in general as far as what they're trying to do with Derrick Henry. But we will see how that goes going forward with the start. Ravens look like they continue to struggle with Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew kind of struggled, got better late in the game. Look, I've seen this. This was a typical Gardner Minshew game. Everybody has jokes with him. Everybody makes fun of the hair and everything else. And every time I see this guy play, it's kind of the same thing. Kind of struggles early, makes bad decisions, offense sputters, and then late in the game, if you leave him in there, he gets a lot better. And that's what we saw today. As the game went, he was better. Gardner Minshew today was 30 of 38, 276, one touchdown. I got to tell you, and a lot of that was late in the game. Ravens really struggled. As the defense started to wear down, he does much better outside of the pocket. So when the plays break down on off-schedule stuff, that's kind of where he does. Hangs in late, finds receivers downfield late, and the Ravens really, really struggled with that there. So good stuff there. Brandon Stevens had a bad pass interference call late in the game that caused the touchdown after that. So the next play, Devontae Adams score. And I mean bad. I'm talking about the officiating. I thought the call was, looking at the play, and I haven't, looked at tape and reviewed it like 3 or 4 times yet, but I can honestly say that was a very ticky-tack pass interference call. I thought they was pushing and shoving on both sides for the ball. It's a ball that was obviously in play in the end zone, and I think he got a bad call there. I think it was one of those calls like a superstar player gets. I thought his cover. The announcers kept saying he had a bad day covering Devontae Adams. One is Devontae Adams, like he's a tremendous wide receiver. Secondly, I thought the coverage was decent. I thought just Devontae Adams made some great catches. So I'm not too down on Brandon Stevens today because of the way he played. I thought the offense. I just thought the way he actually played, what I thought was, just exceptional. Devontae Adams is one of the better tight end wide receivers in the entire NFL. So that's the way that went. The big thing is the offensive line gamble isn't paying off. Max Crosby just stayed in the Ravens backfield. There was so many times today when you saw Lamar Jackson, every time he had time to set up, throw, look downfield, Lamar was terrific. Every time. And then so many times, Max Crosby's blowing up the play, blowing him off the schedule. Every time he tries to throw, set up downfield. When he had time to throw it, you saw it late in the second half. Had a bit of a lead. They kind of bit in a bit of a prevent defense. Lamar was kind of chopping them up, piecing it together. Times like that, the lines was a little bit better. Lamar did fantastic throwing the ball. He did have the one interception today that really wasn't on him. Bateman kind of coughed it up once the ball scooted out. The guy was right behind him, scooted out. That was not a terrific throw, but I think that was more on the receiver. I thought the Ravens too, like the look, Bateman to me looks fine. when he has time. I mean, the biggest problem I think with Bateman is he's the third third option. Andrews, I thought, looked fine today. Zay Flowers was good again today, but there was no protection on that right side. Again, there's just, I mean, just Max Crosby just completely abused and it is more Filele than the rest of them. Rosengarten, again, has struggled more than I've thought early as well, but they're just abusing him. And I think part of the problem is they don't know what they want to do with the zone running. Again, they got Derrick Henry, and you want to run zone. That's not good. That you got a piece that doesn't fit. One thing I said in camp with the differences in between the right tackle competition that I wound up both starting. I said you got Daniel Filele competing at right tackle, and then you draft Roger Rosengarten. They couldn't be more different. And now they're playing next to each other, and that's a big problem. Makari, I thought, was better today, although he kind of struggled. He kind of is what he is. He's going to be good at times and not good at other times. So that's kind of my view of it with them, with that. But the offensive line game was keeping you from winning football games. That's not going to work. And defense has got to be better than this today. You can't give up 26 points. I mean, this is not a very good team that had them on the ropes. And you gotta look. You got a lot of money on defense. You got Matabuke on defense making a lot of money. You got Roquan Smith making a lot of money. You got Marlon Humphrey making a ton of money. You got Marcus Williams making a ton of money. You got Kyle Hamilton's looking for a lot of money. I mean, you got a lot of these guys. You got to come through. Can't have this. Gotta get, like, if you need to. I mean, the offense has some issues, but you're supposed to be the side of the ball that's more established. You give up 26 points. One thing if it's Kansas City, but to Oakland, nah, you can't do that. I'm giving a lower grade for that because you have worse competition. So we will talk more about this week. I'm here anyway. We're all here anyway. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. We will chop it up for you this week on the Ravery Sports Podcast. Thank you, all of you, for joining us this week. Enjoy all the games. We'll see you on the next one.